We are going to share some insights about TIN in Uganda. What is TIN in full? This is tax identification number. That is in full. And what is all about TIN? TIN is a unique number. Is a unique number. Is a unique number that identifies taxpayers. That identifies taxpayers in the URA. It is a unique number that identifies taxpayers in the URA, that is Uganda Revenue Authority tax register. Okay, so it is something that you need to know. It is a unique number, a unique in a way that every taxpayer must have his or her own number. Okay, and effective 1st July 2025. Effective 1st July 2025, Uganda enacted a new law. When you look at Section 4 of the tax procedures code Act. That is chapter 343. When you look at this act, Section 4 of this act, Tax Procedures Code Act, when you look at Section 4, currently you will find it talks about tax identification number. This was enacted effective 1st July 2025. For an individual, your TIN must be your NIN, must be your NIN. That is national identification number. So your TIN, your unique number will be just your national identification number. That is under section 4, subsection. If I need a TIN as an individual, my TIN will be national identification number currently. Okay, previously we used to have TINs with digits different from NIN. That is before 1st July 2025. Those who obtained the TIN before 1st July 2025, they had TINs different from their NIN. Okay, but effective 1st July 2025, your TIN will be your NIN. So take note of that. And this NIN is issued by NIRA. This NIN must be issued by NIRA. That is National Identification and Registration Authority. Issued by NIRA, that is National Identification and Registration Authority. You don't need to fake the NIN. Remember, URA system communicates with the NIRA system, communicates with the with the URSB system, that is Uganda Registration Services Bureau. Okay, as you register for your TIN, we are going to see this practically. We are going to see this practically that if you put NIN as you get your TIN, okay, the system, the URA system will communicate with the NINA system, and the information will auto-populate, okay, as long as you put the NIN. So it means that you cannot register for a TIN when you don't have your NIN. Okay, that is something that you need to know. If you're planning to get your TIN, if you're planning to get your TIN as an individual, remember, an individual is a natural person for tax purposes. The one created you, who was created by God. Okay, you are an individual, so your TIN must be your NIN in Uganda. Okay. Then for non-individuals, for non-individuals, you're going to find that for non-individuals, here non-individuals, we are talking about artificial persons. Here we are talking about artificial. Here we are talking about artificial person. This is a natural person created by God. Artificial person, it's you who created it's you, an individual or a group of individuals that created artificial person. It could be a company. For example, a company. It could be, for example, you're talking about a company, you're talking about a partnership, you're talking about a trustee, you're talking about it could be an association. Association. Okay, it could be a club. Okay, it could be a club. It could be a political subdivision of government, like those MDAs, ministry, department, and agencies, and mention them. MDAs, ministry, department, and agencies of government, among others. As long as you're talking about something which is not a natural person, if you formed a company, that is non-individual. If you formed a partnership, that is non-individual. A trustee is a non-individual. An association, a club. Okay? Any political subdivision of government, mention them. All those ones fall under the category of non-individuals. So if you want a TIN for a non-individual, effective 1st July, the law states that your TIN here, your TIN will be your TIN will be your registration number. The registration number issued by Uganda Registration Services Bureau. It means that you must have registered your company, you must have registered your partnership, you must have registered your trustee, you must have registered your association, your club, mention them, okay, with URSB. And as long as you register with URSB, you will have a registration number on the certificate. Okay? So that registration number will be your TIN. That registration number will be your TIN. Are we together? Okay? Please take note. Okay? Take note. And this is the under section. You can check those with the TPC Act, TPC, that is Tax Procedure Code Act. If you have this act, you check under section 4, subsection 1, part B. Okay, this is where you're going to find the law that talks about registration number. Now, another category is related to non-citizens of Uganda. To non-citizens, or non-individuals outside Uganda. Non-individuals outside Uganda. Now, if Uganda has a tax treaty or agreement for the exchange of information with your country, then your TIN will be your TIN in Uganda. Your TIN to be used in Uganda. Your TIN to be used in Uganda will be the TIN will be TIN issued by your country, by a foreign tax authority, like your country. The TIN you use in your country. The TIN you use in your country. So please take note. Please take note that if Uganda has, in a scenario where Uganda has a tax treaty or agreement for the exchange of information with your country, then the TIN to be used in Uganda. If you are doing some transactions in Uganda that requires TIN, then your TIN will be the TIN issued by your country. Your country where you are, okay? It will be accepted in Uganda. That TIN you use in your country will be accepted in Uganda. That is only applicable. That is only applicable to countries with double tax agreements, or where Uganda has agreement for the exchange of information. I hope I'm clear. Okay. So please take note. Please take note. Please take note. And this is under section. This is under section 4, subsection 1, part C. Part C. Please take note. Please take note. Please take note. Okay, so this section is applicable to foreigners. It could be an individual, it could be a non-individual. But as long as Uganda has an agreement with your country, a double tax agreement, or an agreement for the exchange of information with your country, then your TIN that you're using in that country will be accepted. Your TIN you're using will be will be accepted in Uganda. Okay? But in a scenario where you are a foreigner and you are in a country where Uganda does not have a tax treaty or an agreement for the exchange of information, then you will be required to get a TIN purposely for transactions that require TIN in Uganda. Okay, if you are a foreigner and you need to transact in Uganda, okay, you are a foreigner and you want to transact in Uganda, and that transaction requires you indicating a TIN. As long as you are in the country where Uganda does not have a tax treaty or agreement for the exchange of information, the TIN you're using in your country will not be accepted in Uganda. You will be required to get a new TIN in Uganda. You will be required to get a new TIN in Uganda. So please take note. Please take note. Obviously, at URSB, there is also that room for foreigners. Maybe you are a foreigner, you want to register a business in Uganda. Let's say a branch or a subsidiary or a permanent establishment in Uganda. Then you will need to follow the process that is created by what? By URSB. Okay? So take note of that. Take note of that. Next, you need to know the reason. Also, you need to know the reasons. The reason is for 14 application. 14 application. Why do you actually need a TIN? Okay? Why do you actually need a TIN? Could it be that you have a source of income? Do you have a source of income? Do you have a source of income? Or you're just applying, for other related transactions, that require TIN. Okay, at least you must be having the reason. You must be having the reason why you need a TIN. Why you need a TIN. Okay? So, what does that one mean? If you realize that as an individual, you have a source of income, then obviously you must apply for a TIN. If you have a source of income, for example, you have a business and you're earning an income, you have a business income. If you're running a business, of course you have a business income. You must pay taxes. Okay? It could be that you are earning an employment income. You are employed somewhere. If you are employed somewhere, you will need a TIN for purposes of payee. If you have investment you're owning some properties, you're owning some rentals somewhere, you need to pay rental tax. It could be that you invested somewhere. It could be that you invested somewhere. For example, you have shares. You have shares in a certain company, and you expect dividend. that dividend is property income. It could be that you fixed your money in a certain bank. That investment, you will need to be earning interest income. That will be interest income. So it means that you are earning as long as you have investment somewhere. Okay. It could be that for you, you just have investment somewhere. You have shares, okay, somewhere. You fixed your money somewhere and you expect interest. Okay, any investment that is going to generate, that is going to help you to generate an income, you will obviously, it means that for you, you will have also a source of income. You're not running a business on day-to-day operations. That is like not a business. It's just like an investment. So you just have an investment. Okay? It could be that maybe someone is using your name and you are paid because of that. That is an income. That is property income. Someone using just your name and you receive money. That is an income. Okay? So as long as you're earning an income, you will need to register for a team. Okay? You need to register a team. It could be It could be other related transactions that require a team. Other related transactions that require a team. For example, it could be like a land transaction. It's about a land transaction. They may ask you a team, especially to transfer land title. You may need a team. Okay. Somewhere you may need a tin for stamp duty purposes in Uganda. Okay? It could be about the assets. It could be about other assets like transferring other assets. It could be, let's say, motor vehicle. It could be, let's say, motor vehicle. It could be, let's say, border. Border. Any, as long as you want to transfer into your names, they may ask you, they will ask you what? You ask you a tin. They will ask you a tin. They will ask you a tin. So this is, you are not in a business. Okay. You may find that it's just your car for personal use. But you may need what? You may need a team. You may need a team to do for a transaction to be complete. Okay. It could be about government compensation. Any transaction with government. Any business transaction with government. Any business transaction with government, you will need a team. Okay? You will need a team to transact with the government. They cannot allow you without what? Without a team. It could be about government compensation. The government want to compensate you. Government compensation. Government compensation. Because of different reasons, government compensation could come in, for example, say, okay, let's compensate you for the use of this land. Or it could be about those pipeline that you normally see for oil purposes. Okay, it could be other reasons. People who whistleblow, and they are going to be paid. So it could be other reasons. As long as the government is going to compensate you, you will need a team. You will need what? You will need a team. Okay. It could be about you in a scenario where you need a tax clearance certificate. Maybe you're bidding and you will need a tax clearance certificate, and you cannot get a tax clearance certificate without what? Obviously, without a TIN. It could be any other reason. Any other reason. It could be employment, where you're going to be employed, but they ask you a if you need a license, a trading license, they will ask you a TIN. If you need a trading license from KCC, you need to do what? To present your TIN. It could be about the refund. You want to claim a refund. You want to claim a refund. That is like a compensation. Okay, or a refund. It could be a refund, a tax credit. A tax credit. You want to claim any tax credit. Obviously, for you to claim, you need a TIN. It could be about the cross-border trade. It could be about the cross-border what? It could be about the cross-border trade. You're doing a transaction, you're importing or exporting. Here you will need what? You will need a TIN for these transactions. If you're to import, if you're to export, you need a TIN. So you see there are a lot of transactions that you will necessitate you to have a TIN. As long as you fall in any of these categories, it means that you will need a TIN. Let me hope it is clear. Let me hope it is clear. So you first look at yourself. One, do you have a source of income? Is it that you are in a business? If you are in a business, then you need a TIN. If you are in a business, you need a TIN. Some may be running a business without TIN, but that is illegal. That is illegal. Okay? Because you must be paying also taxes. You are earning an income. You are earning an income which requires you to pay what? Taxes. You are in employment. You are in employment. You're earning employment income. You must pay taxes in the form of payee. Okay? You have some investment somewhere, or you are earning an income, or you're doing a transaction that requires a TIN. Land, if it is about to transfer of land title, you're transferring that asset into your names, you need a TIN. You want to transact with government, you need a TIN. Okay, among others, among others. So please, you need to know the reason. You need to know the reason. Okay, why you need a TIN. Is it just a transaction you're doing that requires a TIN? If yes, of course, you need to apply for a TIN. Okay? Okay, let me hope it is. Let me hope it is clear. I hope it is clear. And obviously, there could be also other questions. You could be having other questions like, can one person have more than one TIN? Obviously, no. One person must have one TIN. One person must have one registration number, must have one NIN. If you are an individual, we expect you to be having one NIN. So there is no way you're going to say that you are going to have two TINs. No. Because you are an individual, you are one with one NIN. So you cannot have more than what? More than one TINs. If you have, that is illegal. That is illegal. You go to URA and they deactivate one. Can a tin be transferred, sold, or inherited? Obviously, since we are saying that it's one person, one tin, the tin cannot be transferred, cannot be sold, cannot be inherited. So take note of that. The tin is personal and non-transferable. It cannot be sold, it cannot be given to another person, it cannot be inherited. You cannot inherit someone's name, okay? Because you are different persons. And using another person's tin is a criminal offense. So take note of that. Take note of that. Can a student get a tin? Yes. Yes or no? As a student, you can get a tin, or you may not need a tin. You may need a tin if you fall under this category. You have a source of income as a student. You are dealing in a transaction that require a tin as a student. You need a trading license. You have assets that you want to transfer. You may need what? You may need a tin. But if you don't have a source of income, you are not employed somewhere, you are not running a business, you're not doing any investment somewhere, then you don't need a tin. It's not a must. For you to get a tin, at least you must know the reason, the reason why you need a tin. Do you have a source of income, or you're applying for a tin because of other related transactions that require a tin? At least you must follow here, okay? All right. Can a person be employed in Uganda without a tin? It is illegal. There could be some people who are employed. All employees must have a tin. Okay? If you don't have a tin, it is illegal. It is illegal. Okay? If you have a question, you need to ask. So you may not need a tin if you don't have any source of income. You are not employed anywhere. You are not doing any investment anywhere. You are not running any business. You are not doing any transaction that require a tin. So it's not a must have a tin. It depends on what you are doing, the transaction you're doing, or your source of income. So if you are an individual, how do you then get a tin? How do you apply for a tin? Practically, how do you apply for a tin? How do you apply for a tin? If you are an individual, how do you apply for a tin? If you are an individual, it could be you are employed somewhere. It could be you're employed somewhere. It could be you are running a business. It could be you have an investment somewhere, or someone is using your name and you expect income. As long as you have a source of income as an individual, you need a tin, as we said, or you're doing a transaction that requires a tin. As an individual, you need a tin. So how do you then get a tin? How do you apply for a tin? How do you apply for a tin practically? So for you to apply for a tin, as an individual, you will go to URA website. That is, you can just type URA. You can just type URA and the URA and press enter. URA.go.ug. You can just say URA. Even if you type there on search, hope you're seeing my screen, type there URA and press enter. You have the website for URA where you are saying where you are seeing www.ura.go.ug. You click there, you click on URA. Okay. So after clicking there, you will see something like this on your screen. Remember, you want a team as an individual. Here we are talking about an individual for this session. I'm talking about an individual who wants a team. An individual is employed somewhere, is running a business, or he has investment somewhere, or he's doing a transaction that requires a team. So you will follow these steps. Go to URA website, or just go to search in, click on where you are searching, then type there URA and press enter. Then once you see this screen, and you hover your mouse, don't click, you just hover your mouse. Then once you hover your mouse like this, you will see get a tin. You will see a word get a tin. You click on get a tin and you click there. You click on get a tin. So once you click on get a tin, you will see this menu. You will see this menu. You can even read. You can even read through. You can even read through who is required to get a tin. You can read through and see information. How many digits? Of course, these ones are going to change. These things are going to change because of national ID requirement. They will amend some of the things. So who is required to get a tin? You can read through. You can read through all these. What are the key requirements for tin registration? You can read through. Okay. How does one get an instant tin? You can read all these things. How do I register for an individual tin? You can read through. You can read through. If you're above 18 years, these are requirements. National ID is a mandatory. If you are a minor, so you can read through in your free time. What do I require to register for a non-individual team? You can also read through non-individual team. Is it a company? And if it's a company, is it a private company or public company or a foreign company? So you read through and see what you need. If you need a team for a partnership, these are the requirements. These are the requirements. If it is a government entity, is it a ministry, a parastatal agency, or authority? So you will need all this. Is it a club that you're registering? Is it a society? Is it an association? Is it a trustee? Is it an NGO? So before you apply, at least first have these requirements with you. First have these requirements with you. But for this session, we are looking at what? We are looking at an individual. Now, if you are an individual, a natural person, what is required as a must is that you must have a national ID. And if you have a national ID, actually, for you to have it, it takes around 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes, you have your what? You have your PIN, as long as you have national ID. Okay? So what you will do, if you're applying for a team, simply where you see the word get a TIN, you have such a TIN, instant TIN application. Okay, so for you, if you have a NIN, then for you, you can just click on instant TIN application. You click here. You click on instant TIN application. Instant TIN application. Okay, then when you click on instant TIN application, you click here, click to apply for instant TIN. Then you will see this window where they are showing the applicant category. Choose applicant category. Of course, you are an individual. You click here. You click here, an individual. Then this one will pop up. This is taxpayer identification panel. Okay. They are telling you that application for taxpayer identification number for all individuals. This form may be used by all individuals applying for a TIN. Okay, so first they ask you the identification card number. So you must put it here. You must put it here. Your identification card number. Okay, you indicate. If you don't have, then it becomes hard for you to proceed because there is a red star. You must indicate because there is a red star, you must indicate your new format. You follow this format. When you click inside, you will see something like this. The date of here you look for your year, not don't follow mine. So you can just put like this, then the month, you select the month and the date. This one must be the same as the one on your what? On your national ID. The one on your national ID. Okay? What you see here, surname, first name, the names must correspond with the names on what? Here, the name you are seeing here must be the same name on national ID. And here you are not the one typing. It's the system, because this system communicates with the NIRA system. So the moment you put your details, as long as the details you inserted are correct, these ones will be auto-populated, even the gender. Okay, so from there, after putting all your information, you will have option of income source. You have option of income source. Could it be that you have a registered business? Could it be that you are employed somewhere and you want a TIN? Maybe your boss is asking you a TIN. So if you are employed, you take employment. If you are running informal business, that is a business that is not yet registered. Okay, you are running a business, but that business is not yet registered. Could it be that you have some rental somewhere, you take rent? Could it be that landlord is asking you could it be that landlord is asking you your TIN? So you can just click any of this income source. Could it be that you have investment somewhere? If you have your property somewhere and you're earning rental income, you click this. If you have investments somewhere and you expect money, like you fixed money in the bank, you fixed money, maybe you invested with UAP, or maybe any bank or any other source of income, you click on property. Okay, so here I can click, let's say, on let's say, employment. If you click on employment, they will ask you employers what? employer's team. You put the employer's team. Okay, you put the employer's team. If you are in employment. Of course, if you put his tin or her tin or the company's tin, the name will auto-populate. The name will auto-populate. Okay? If you have a registered business, you click on registered what? On registered business. So here I can remove this. If you have a registered business, please tick on registered business. Then you will bring the details where you are going to put the certificate number, your trading name, because you will have the certificate with you. You will have the certificate with you when you started the business or when the business started. All these things, the name of the business. You put your what? You put your details. You put your details. Okay. Okay. If it is informal business, you click here. Informal, that is a business not yet registered. Okay. So just you describe your nature of the business. You type here. Okay. Okay, what you're dealing in. If it is about to rent, you tick here. If it's about rent, you tick here. If it's about property, you click here on property. Maybe you have investment somewhere. So you must select, please don't just tick anyhow. Make sure that you are accurate. Because we have people, we have individuals with business, we have individuals in employment. So if you find that you run a business and at the same time you are employed somewhere, you can tick all. You can tick this employment and register the business. Okay? So tick what is applicable to you. Okay? So after ticking, remember, even here, you don't have, you see here, there is no red star. There is no red star. Reason being, it could be a transaction that require a TIN. You don't have a source of income, but you're doing a transaction that require a TIN. That's why they didn't make this section compulsory. Not every individual has a source of income. It could be that you're doing a transaction that simply requires a TIN as an individual. So you don't tick this section. You don't tick this section. You don't tick this section. For you, you make sure that you fill those sections that have red star. Those ones are those ones are compulsory. Those ones are compulsory. So here I can just put your telephone number, and as you put your telephone number, don't put 0. Simply start from 7. 7, it could be 702198465. Okay. Then the district, you select your district. You select the district. Here, it's not a must that you select a district where okay, the home district. No, it's not a must. You select where you are. Okay. So I can select, let's say, Kampala. Then, if you select, let's say, Ruchiga. Let me look for, some of you know Ruchiga is just the language, but we have a district called Ruchiga. So you can select Ruchiga. It is here, Ruchiga. After selecting Ruchiga, you select the municipality. It is still Ruchiga. Then, of course, depending on the district you selected, if you selected Kampala, when you select, you will see different things. For example, let's say select Kampala. If you select Kampala, if I told you selected Kampala, if you selected Kampala, then here you have to specify the division. Is it Kampala Central? Is it Nakawa Division? So you select what corresponds to your case. So I can select, let's say, Nakawa Division. After selecting Nakawa Division, sub-county or division is this. The parish. So you select the right parish. Is it Mutungo? Is it Ruzira? Is it Chanja? Is it Chambogo? So these are parishes. So I can select, let's say, Nabsunsa. The village. Now your village is, which village is it? So you must be knowing this. So after that, after selecting, these ones are compulsory where you see register. After that, you click here, I'm not a robot. You select that. I'm not a robot. Then you select, remember this is a bicycle. So you look for where you see a bicycle. So you select. So after that, you submit your application. You click here and submit your application. Okay. Let me hope these steps are not hard. You just click here and submit it, and you wait like after 5 minutes. URA will. Obviously, it is good also to include the email address. It is good that you include the email address. Have the email address. You have source of income. You click on the right thing. Okay. So I'm done. They can send your TIN on your telephone, your telephone number, or they can first call you to confirm that indeed it's you. They can first call you to confirm, or they can just immediately send you your TIN. That's all. If you want to read any of the information, you just hover here and always read it through. If you want to read about import and export, you just hover here and read. Click on custom valuation and read. Okay? If you want to read if you want how to access some reports, the rows, you click here and read through. If you want the opportunities, okay, you just hover around and you read some of the things, some of the things. Okay. So we are going to proceed in parallel, and you will get to learn more. So that's I am going to tell you how also you can amend your TIN details. For example, initially you were in employment, but you will now have a business. How can you notify URA? Because we have people who started with employment and they started called a side hustle. So you need to amend your TIN. You need to amend your TIN details. Okay? So that you can be filing also the business, your return for the business. Okay, so that's all for now, and I wish you a nice time.